The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. And as we start the show off today, almost always at this time,
the following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Yep, another day without little sound effects tag there. 2360 on the S&P cash, 1.94 billion shares as we start the show on the New York Consolidated tape. Pretty good volume in the NASDAQ too, so up fairly strong. Could we have a little bit more volume? Yes. We had a very low first hour and a half, though, and the market really hasn't caught up with it. So could you make the argument that the volume isn't any stronger than it was on the way down? I think you can make that argument. Other than, we've tried to go out and bust out the bottom without any volume. Now, will we try to do the same thing at the top? Well, I'm thinking we've got another 15 points higher, maybe 20 points higher in the S&P cash. Now, maybe it just hangs around up here for fun buying. Maybe something else happens. But at the moment, I don't see a lot of impotence for the market to go lower. And not a lot of impotence for the indexes to go a lot higher either. So we may be in a little bit of a trading range. All my positions are in individual equities. I'm not moving or trying to chase the indexes around, but it just looks to me like there wasn't a lot of juice down, especially in the equities. We went through a bunch of them yesterday. We'll talk about how they responded after the show and today. But just a nice up day, 18 points on the S&P cash. And, if you are one of those people that are truly bearish, I could see that. But a lot of times, even if you are bullish, the market will give you one more chance or several chances to get out before it closes the door. And to me, I really didn't like the move down because it didn't have a lot of volume. Now, it actually could be said that the markets are a lot more dangerous because we're headed back up. And if we don't get volume in the next 2 or 3 days, to me, that would have been a much better place to decide to go short than short the last week, although you would have made money if you actually covered your short. But, man, the volume just wasn't there. And when I did my scan last night, just about everything turned up on the bullish side of volume and price action. So we'll see. But, I'm looking for maybe on this little run here, maybe another 15 points higher, maybe as much as another 20 points in the next few days. You've got fun buying. You've got IPOs coming out. You've got just about everything that would make the street want to hold this market up at least for the next 5 to 7 trading days. So we'll take a look at that. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can post messages in the den. And normally I look at the breaks for new callers. So probably the best time to call is here at the first break. Because normally I get on a roll and I'm not looking around and reading a bunch of other stuff. I'm kind of concentrated on looking at the charts. I've got rather a singular focus. So if you want to call in today, do it at the breaks. And, of course, what else do we have going on? Well, we always like to start the show off with a little bit of history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1979, the worst accident in U.S. history for nuclear power begins when a pressure valve in the Unit 2 reactor at 3 Mile Island fails to close. Cooling water contaminated with radiation drained from the open valve into adjoining buildings, and the core began to dangerously overheat. A lot of damage, nothing, of course, anywhere close to Chernobyl. But if you put two things, can a nuclear power station be safe? The answer is yes. Are any of the ones that are built safe? No. You kind of have to remember that all of the big dollar research on nuclear power and radiation and was basically, and the chemistry was all for the bomb program. So these things actually tend to be built a lot more like bombs than they probably should have. No one spent the money to go back and build them and design them the way they are. If you wanted to go build one now, you could build one that literally could not melt down. And I think that's kind of the way you probably should build them. France has a great program, and why you never hear a peep out of them. All their nuclear reactors are manned by the military. They actually have a program where you go through about 6 years before you actually control one of these. Unfortunately, in the United States, it's all a matter of cost. And yes, we do have somebody that says Doe a lot, and last name may be Simpson behind the controls of power stations. Not that they're not good folk, but if there's one place where you probably want to make sure that you've got somebody with the most amount of training, is probably behind the airplane you're flying in, or probably in the nuclear power station down the street. From all kinds of new designs to sodium, liquid sodium instead of water, there's a lot of things that can make these things 1,000 times safer than they are. But I don't think we're ever going to get that way in the United States. It's going to take something new to bridge this, because guess what? I'd say 98% of the people in the United States are nuclear. I can't even say it. Nuclear. I'll say it like George Bush did. Nuclear illiterates. And I don't know. I love watching how all this stuff works, and love watching all the specials on nuclear power. But I think probably before I expire on this mortal coil, we'll probably have fusion power. I was talking about that this morning. I want my car powered by Mr. Fusion, right out of Back to the Future. Anyway, death, Amazon, and taxes. CNBC reports that after 2 decades of bad blood and legal wrangling between states and the online supergiant, Amazon will finally collect sales tax in all states that have a levy. Collection in Hawaii, Idaho, Maine, and New Mexico are the final 4 states where shoppers don't pay a required tax to the site. That will begin on April 1st, giving at least a few more states, at least Amazon, not the 3 or 5 to 7% that retail in their country don't have. We'll be back.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're back. What else do we know out here? Just looking to see if there's anything moving. And pretty quiet, just kind of ticking up 2361. Let's call it 2362 on the S&P cash, but volume kind of light here, kind of in the probably top end of a part of the bigger part of a short squeeze. We had a lot of people shorting into the light volume over the next few days. That normally gives me 3 days of a squeeze. They don't let anybody out very easily. Along with fun buying in the first couple of days of next week. That's kind of where I'm getting my 7 days before anything really bad would happen. So I'm not thinking that before next Wednesday, it would probably be any great hoots to go out and start shorting the market or markets. But, maybe we could have a surprise out here. The market is a little twitchy, a little itchy. And as I say in my newsletter, it's good to stay frosty now. I think this is where surprises can really come in, both on the upside and the downside. What do we have going on? We'll look at the stocks that are headed lower, at least the bigger ones. Tenet Healthcare, the healthcare stocks kind of had run for a couple of days. Tenet Healthcare is one of the ones, not a lot of stocks moving hugely today, but Tenet on pulling back fairly strongly. XBit, don't know a lot about this one. Let's find out. This thing has been kind of driving up to a high, actually spiked it yesterday. XBiotech, I'll have to find out more about that one another day. I wanted to go to actually the advancers and take a look at them a little bit more today. Altisource Portfolio Solutions, ASPS, breaking out, probably going to do it with volume today, of the previous $34.60 high of September 6th. Then we go to Cara Therapeutics. This one's got a nice little hanging doji out here today with huge volume. Be very careful if that does open up lower tomorrow. Another breakout is the Chemours company. We talked about this one for a lot. It had a nice consolidation back from this sign of strength back on the 13th of February. It ran till yesterday. Nice pop higher. Looks like it's going to hold it, but not a lot of volume. CRC, California Resources. Resources companies, the energy, all seem like that they were ready to make it a little low. Would have liked to seen more juice in this one today. CRC had its sign of strength back on November 11th with almost 12 million shares. Got into it with 1 million shares. Pretty high probability that you were going to get a bounce out of here. Dislike the super light volume in that one. Our Darden Restaurants is buying another one out called Cheddar's, and the market kind of thinks that they got a good deal on this one. Huge volume, huge sign of strength. 8 million shares compared to 8 million shares compared to the December 9th high at 79.43 with 1.6 million shares. So I've never been in that. There's a Cheddar's not too far from me that I drive by, but never gone in there, never understood what Cheddar's meant, never understood why I wanted to go in. Huntsman, a nice move higher and volume. And let's go to the profile on this one and actually find out what these folks do. But sign of strength in this one, a nice move higher. Sells organic and inorganic chemicals worldwide. Polyurethanes, performance products, advanced materials, textile effects, pigments, and additives. People are building stuff, and they're there. Even some of the stocks that have been tough, highly shorted stocks, had some big squeezes today. JA Solar, JASO. Nice move. Volume actually kind of picking up. Again, I'm not real positive on these, but man, when you get down into the $2, $3, $4 range, normally I cover. I don't wait to be squeezed out. Another stock doing the same kind of squeezing on a nothing stock is Sears Holding. This one is back up above its or close to its January 5th high, not above it yet, but a little better volume than the last few days, back up to the January 5th high at $11.19. So kind of interesting move. Nice candle, good volume on that one. What else do we have? TS. Tenaris. Nice gap up on this, nice volume. This looks like it could get back up into the $35.50 to $36.15 range. That's the gap down from the 30th of January on 2 million shares. You got probably going to come in with 4.5, 5 million shares in this thing. Nice gap up. Maybe it'll fill this gap and give you an opportunity to get back in. Not that big a trading range, so it won't be something that I'm playing with. We were talking about a few stocks yesterday. One of them was Halliburton. A lot of the energy stocks we were kind of taking a look at. Halliburton, it's up. Is it have that much? Is it one that I bought? No. But it kind of got, looks like you've got some kind of level of support. But some of these are not acting as well as others. I think it's OIS. Nice kind of reversal in oil states today. Got to see that volume comes back in some of these right now. It's been kind of light, but not surprising out here. What else is on my list of stuff? Okay. Just got a bunch of stuff. Win. We'll see how this one was doing. Kind of a real proxy for China these days. This is finally back into its gap. As we spoke about, this thing looks like it could get to 120 and fill about half this big gap down that goes back to April 29th of 2015. And I don't really understand why it's going so good, but China must be cranking out cash again. That's the only thing I can think of, because the gambling casinos are starting to attract people back yet again. But never know. Yeah, iron ore. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, somebody reminded me that we did talk about Snap, and I warned last week about these highly shorted stocks. We were talking about Snap Chat. I guess it's a Snap now. This morning, and just, could it do a Google? Not a Google. Could it do a GoPro? And the answer is, I don't think so on this one. But could it make it back up to $30 too? I think it could. But again, monster short positions in this, and they, we're paying up to 20% premiums to get short this thing. So we've got 3-4 ready.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. I'll look at a few more stocks. Quest to take a quick look at Tesla. Doesn't seem to matter that one of their automatic driving cars ran down a motorcycle cop today, but what else can you say? Up on at least volume commensurate with what yesterday brought, so not a whole lot in that. What else do we have? And I think that's one thing. Up 20 and change on the S&P cash. And we'll continue looking out here. Okay, back up into this day, which was 22nd of February with 8.3 million shares. Got 6.6, so you can't really complain. Looks to me like 287.39, which is a February 14th high. Looks like it's going to get tagged yet again. We talked about Amazon having to collect taxes. AMZN. And let's take a quick look at this. A little pop on it. What's the volume look like? Going to come in okay. Kind of came down with some decent volume on the 21st. That was 4.3 million shares. Got 2 million shares so far. So could it go back and test this 862? It could. The worst part of this would be having to sit through the next 4 or 5 days of fund buying where, believe it or not, people are going to buy this no matter what. So it doesn't really matter. Now let's take a quick look at Facebook and see how some of the FANG stocks reacted. Volume's about the same as yesterday on Facebook. Looks like it's ready to test its March 21st high, 142.31. So I don't see anything else going on in that. And FLX, kind of light volume. This is a nice consolidation range so far. Volume, though, light, 3.3 million shares. We had 3.8 million shares yesterday. Same kind of thing. This thing came down on the 21st with 6.8 million shares. 147.70. My guess is shorts in the last few days. And my guess is this thing is going to go through 147.70. And, if it goes up to like 150 and then retraces, that may be a signal of some kind of top in this thing. But my guess is that this will probably squeeze a lot of shorts out of it before it does turn around. And let's take a look. Another email to look at IBM. We'll look at a couple others. International Business Machines. A little pop, not much volume out here in this one. It's still kind of working its way back. I would like to see this one at 167 is probably the first support level for IBM. We've got a couple of people. Mike in Texas wants to look at BP, British Petroleum. Up, volume's a little bit higher. Nice consolidation. There's just not a great place or price point on this to say that you bought it. Overhead resistance comes in at about $35.25. A lot of these other ones don't have these big high volume gap downs. So I would kind of look probably to that. What's CPG? CPG. Crescent Point Energy. Like this one better. You had 1.5 million shares on March 9th. Kind of got back into that on March 22nd with under 1 million shares. And you're kind of moving up. Yesterday, 700,000 shares. You got 500,000 shares so far. And if these energies are going to move, probably going to see it. This one had a little more energy than I like off the December 12th high down to this March 9th low. But this whole energy sector just looks very, very interesting and may just be a reversion to the mean trade. You came off $150 down to whatever it was, 26 and change on crude, 48 being where crude originally took off. Might be a good little place to think that crude will consolidate and move higher off of now in the coming years. So what else do we have? We'll take a look at some of the other ones. J&J. J&J. Take a quick look at that one for a request. This one's just a little doji and no volume on this one. Still looks like this thing could get down to or 116 is be where I would think that this could pull back to in Johnson & Johnson. Let's go through some of my lists of stocks. Go back up here to scans, and we'll look at a few of them from yesterday. See how they're doing. Skechers. We were talking about this one kind of coming back in, and if you were thinking of a short, this one actually doesn't look too bad here at $30 today. It's filled half of this existing or resisting gap down that happened on 33 million shares with about 10% of it. One of the better looking ones out here. Of course, it's in retail, and you've got a gap down there at about $24. We talked about PBR yesterday. See how this one did. Up on lighter volume. Again, these are kind of coming off a lot of selling, so probably going to take a little bit of time for these things to start turning around. LB, some of these retail stocks down at very light volumes. L Brands, which is, what is that, Victoria's Secrets, and some of the other ones. February 23rd on this one, $47.93 with 28 million shares. Now this one, you got 3.9 million shares yesterday, 2.6 million shares today. I'm not a big fan of these retail stocks, but man, you came back from the March 2nd high on lighter volume. You're testing the previous low on 1/10 of the volume. Man, if I was short this thing, your head would spin how fast I would be covering my shorts here right now. I don't know if I'd want to own this thing, but maybe even some intraday trades could see a $5 or buck move intraday just on short covering on this in this pattern if we do hold up here a little bit longer. You can be like a Minnie and give me a call at 877-927-6648. And of course, if you want to do me a favor, just tell everybody about the Power Trading Hour here at TFNN. And if you tell two people.
And he tells two friends, and she tells two friends, and so on, and so on, and so on.
Well, then we'd have a nuclear meltdown, I would imagine. And my head would get much bigger than it is already. But please, let's take the chance and just tell a few more people about the Power Trading Hour if you know that they're traders. In the meantime, we'll be back after this short timeout to allow me to have a nice little sip of Diet Coke.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
If you're looking to unearth a new financial resource and diversify your financial portfolio, consider the new Market Safe Core Commodity CD from Everbank. This 5-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to 4 equally weighted commodities: gold, copper, WTI oil, and sugar, in one powerful CD. With no pricing caps, you can potentially earn an unlimited upside payment at maturity if the commodities increase in value across semi-annual pricing dates. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There's no annual percentage percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. Don't miss out. With certain commodities on the rebound, now is the time to take advantage. The March 23rd funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. Once more, that's 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And we're going to go right to Bill from Boca, or maybe Boca Bill. I was thinking about giving him a nickname. Oh, guess he exploded. Spontaneous human combustion. So maybe he'll call back. See what else is going on out here. Okay. Take a look at a few other stocks of interest. Celestica. Top out here. This is not a huge volume stock, but you had a nice sign of strength back on the 27th of January with Celestica. What you don't have today is that kind of volume. In fact, it's very, very light. So you might be looking at some of these stocks if you're in them and saying it's time to ring the register on this pop. This one, 2.66 million shares on the 27th of January. Today, so far, are 200,000 shares. I don't know where you might be or have bought this, but if you bought it on the retrace at $13.17 for a trade, pretty light volume on the way up and not much into that one either. Have a request to take a look at the TLT and see what we have in that. Still up 21 points on the S&P cash. Although my volume numbers are totally messed up. I'm going to have to go back and figure out at the next break what they actually are. But they're completely wrong now. They've gone haywire. So I'm not exactly sure if we have light volume or not. I'm going to have to go check that out. But something's flaky with the system reporting volume, at least in the indexes today. Anyway, the TLT, we were talking about this one in the best idea that it filled this gap down from the 1st of March. It has done so and got back up on fairly light volume. You gapped down on 10.7 million shares. That gap happened on the 1st of March. Got into it yesterday with 5.5 million shares, down to already with 5.9 million shares. So you're probably going to have a little bit more volume in the TLT. You got your bounce. I would think that if you're really looking at this as a play, you'd want a 50% retracement. So you're probably talking about low 118s out here. And if the volume really dried out, maybe you could make a case for an ABC up in this one. As far as I can tell, all you did was come up here, fill the gap with no volume so far in the TLT. I don't think we talked about this one. Bill from Boca is back, or Boca Bill.
That's right.
Which do you like?
I'd like to see about AbbVie, ABBV.
Yep, they make Humira. which if you've watched TV at all, you're bombarded with that. It's an autoimmune disease drug. Are you long this one right now?
Yes. But I've been long a long time. I just keep selling covered calls on it, but it looks like it either wants to head on, it's right there at the top of the range. So I'm just wondering, does it want to go on through or does it want to come back?
Energy's okay. You're going to get 67.50. You're going to get a test of that high. And I think you'd like that August 15th high test. So to me, I like two things right now in that trade. The first one is that the IBB really wasn't able to sell off in the last couple of days significantly. And it had been kind of the weakest sector. IBB is 292 right now. So overall, that kind of looks good. It's off $1 today, but overall, not bad. I think this thing's going to hit 67.50, and the volume there would probably tell you what you want to do. So you're going sideways now. You got 5 days of fun buying. You got the wind at your back. I don't see any reason unless we had, an asteroid hit the planet or a assassination of a high-ranking government official. You're going to need something, and I just don't see what that something is. I like the gap up. It happened on energy. You're going straight sideways out here. I'd say 85% chance you hit that 67.50 high, and then you want to see how it attacks it.
Right. Whether it forms more volume up there or not. Right?
Yeah, if it just blows through there, that's one thing. If it just kind of goes up there on light volume, another one. But I mean, even just the last run up here to 66.97 on March 15th had your bounce up. That gap up had 12.1 million shares, and you really only needed about 9 million shares to test that August 15th high. So I think you're kind of in this thing at the right price. Your risk reward's good. How long have you owned it?
Oh, over a year. I just didn't want to see a big, I was concerned about a big pop where I'm sitting there going like, oh, now I got to buy it back, and I missed a pop as opposed to just, going along and selling more calls.
Yeah, I don't see anything other than a test of 67.50. It's not extremely clear, but I think, another $1.50 higher is going to tell you what you need to know.
Right. We'll
but I don't dislike the energy on the way up here. I mean, this is fairly decent energy, and especially the way it handled the last few days when everybody was selling everything. They weren't selling this. So I think you got 5 to 7 days with the wind at your back. We got IPOs. We've got fund buying. And I like the consolidation here. My guess is this thing's going to pop higher, and the juice is going to tell you. The volume coming into that high is going to tell you what you want to do.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for the call. Looks like a good trade up here. Let's see. What else do we have? VRSN, which is VeriSign. Now, this one was kind of taking a look at it. There are some stocks out here that are showing some fairly light volume up at highs, but didn't really do much in all this brouhaha of the last few days as the market went down. And so you had kind of a light volume test in a horrible market. So I want to see what happens the next couple of days. But the October 28th spike was $86.98. You got into $88 a couple of days ago. But this thing hits $90. You got an 85% chance this thing going to 100. And to me, that'd be the side that I'm looking at least in the next few days. EWH, which is the Hong Kong funds. This thing's sitting right at highs. Again, in kind of a horrible market, it's hung out here fairly well the last few days, at least horrible in the U.S. markets. This October 10th thing is what the Hong Kong index is going against. And, you've had a huge run off this December 28th low back up to this high. But could you break out? Could we get a lot of volume in the next couple of days as this thing breaks out to higher highs? Weird things can happen. I'd be buying the pullback. I wouldn't want to be long this thing now. But we could see a little movement in Hong Kong out here, or big.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And what we have going on out here today is Dow and DuPont got their regulatory approval to merge. And why not a whole lot of volume out here? I can't imagine being short this thing any longer. It looks like the deal's going to be done. Dow hitting its 52-week high, Dow Chemical, and, of course, DuPont doing just the exact same thing. Again, not a lot of volume, but it kind of looks like everybody figured out what was going on for a while. We even have some of the worst stocks that have come back to life. Rocket Fuel is one. This was a failed IPO. I'd been looking at it, never really could get any fundamental reasons why this thing should have taken off. I really didn't see anything in the chart. But again, if you're betting on the end of the world, it's only going to happen one time. I just don't understand why everybody was still short this thing. But a huge volume back to the upside, back to $5. That's probably the end of the run. But again, 52-week high in that. Red Hat, another 52-week high, and little bounce up here higher. Again, decent volume, kind of sold off a little bit on some of these pops. Carnival Cruise Line, another one at 52-week highs, and a nice pop on earnings this morning. It gave a little bit back. I'm not saying that the markets aren't a little tired up here. Kind of looks that way for me, but to me, I think it was more likely that the stock market at least goes sideways, if not a little up, through fund buying for the next few days. Let's see what else is out here in the 52-week highs on today. Play Dave & Buster's. This thing just came off earnings, and you had your nice gap up on earnings. Kind of a surprise back on the 7th of December. This thing took off with 8 million shares and almost 9 million shares. Came back into that gap with less than 800,000 shares, and has kind of continued to move back up here. But again, another 52-week high on that one. Panera Bread, 52-week high. This one, again, this one never really came back and filled its gap from the February 8th gap up with lots of energy. But even the last couple of days, Panera could be worse. I would have liked to seen a lot more energy up here. Can it pull back? It probably could, back to 235, something like that. What else do we have on this? We looked at Red Hat, TrueCar. Another one that has had 2 gaps up. Probably going to get one more out here. Looks like this could be a 3-gap play. Up today, volume's okay so far. We'll see what it does at the end of the day. Last gap happened on February 17th. Kind of came back, filled just a very tiny amount of that gap. He had almost 5 million shares on TrueCar, and up today with a little bit of juice. Again, fund buying happening. The upside on this one is kind of limited because you've got a gap that goes back to when this thing was getting slaughtered back almost a year ago on April 1st. This thing came down with 1.1 million shares and then kind of went sideways for a while. But that $16.50, $17 range is going to be very tough to get through on TrueCar. And see if there's anything else out here I wanted to look at before the end of the day. We looked at Wynn. We looked at some of the others. You know, just old-fashioned. We went down on lighter volume. We're coming up. Unfortunately, at least today, maybe on lighter volume. I'm going to have to dig back in because the numbers are funny today. So I may have to wait till night to figure out whether or not the volume is correct or not on the NASDAQ and NYSE. Anyway, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.